First Date, I'm Cassie.
I'm Keegan.
I'm Christina, and I have to talk to you guys about an upcoming movie starring my favorite unhinged chaos queen, Dakota Johnson.
Oh, God. Incredible.
Chris Evans as her broke, living with roommates, cater waiter,
First love,
ex-boyfriend.
though, right?
First
Yeah,
love.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Pedro Pascal, who is a billionaire that is in love with her.
Listen.
Sign me fucking up.
And the way that TikTok is going crazy about being like, don't even consider Chris Evans.
Right.
He is for the street. Like,
Yeah,
if they
baby.
make us choose the poor person,
I
like,
swear to God.
you have
I
a
think
billionaire Pedro Pascal.
We know how this story goes. Okay.
And
we
we're
are
not
children of
having
the 90s and the early 2000s. Like,
Yeah.
we know she's going to end up with broke boy.
God,
we know she is.
Fuck.
Or, you know what? In this modern era, maybe she ends up alone. I'm okay with that.
You know what?
Like, if she's just like, maybe neither. You know?
You know what? Okay.
I hope that that's the way it goes, because no way in hell are they going to let her end up with Pedro
Keegan?
Pascal. It's not going to happen.
Keegan, I like this. I like what you're saying. I think it's the only right thing to do.
I agree.
No, there are 3 correct endings to this movie. 1, she ends up with Pedro Pascal.
True.
Of course.
Of course.
I mean, a
Yes.
rich Pedro Pascal that's
Please.
obsessed with you. I mean,
My
come on.
skin is on fire.
And he's hot in the trailer. Like,
He's hot. You can't
so
unhot
hot.
him. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So that's number 1. That ending, satisfactory.
Yes.
Sorry, Chris Evans, but get your shit together and maybe you can compete. But no.
and
Second
Chris
one.
Evans, I will say, is hot in the trailer.
Yes.
He's hot.
Listen.
He looks good as like a broke, scruffy fucking dude. But
Yeah, no
you
argument for
cannot-
me here.
Like, we can't. You fuck Chris Evans.
Yes.
Okay, for sure.
You marry
But-
Pedro Pascal. Yes.
I mean, unless he's got some insane flaw, like, we gotta, Cassie, you gotta come back. We gotta go see this together in
know.
theaters.
Oh my God. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like, how are they gonna sell it to me for me to turn on Pedro Pascal? Because they're gonna have to do something for the audience to be like, no, you shouldn't end up with him.
But
or
still,
whatever.
like, we're tired of ending up with the fucking broke guy.
Yeah.
That does,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm tired of it.
Okay, you have the 3 options. Okay.
Second one,
Okay.
she can be she chooses neither. She chooses herself.
Yes.
I'm good with that as an ending too. Third one, both.
Oh, why not both?
The
Why-
ruple.
Why not both?
The
not
ruple.
both.
You know,
You're right.
but Pedro,
Christina, I was
and
worried
also
about the third. I
Yep,
was, but you
you're-
nailed it.
You're right. You're right. You know, because Pedro can support them.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
also, she's like a millionaire matchmaker. Like,
Yes.
that's the premise of the movie, is like, that's what her job is. And she's very successful. So I'm just like, you got 2 successful people in a throuple. Yeah, you're good.
I need to see
You're
a
fine.
trailer for
Evans
this.
can be the kept man. He can be the. I will say the trailer. I really liked the trailer. It felt like a throwback into like an old school time.
Okay.
Like for a romantic comedy. And I was like, oh, I'm intrigued. I'm interested in it.
I will
Yeah.
be watching this. Yes, 1000%.
Okay. What's it called?
May go to the theater. I think it's called The Matchmaker.
Okay.
Or the something like that.
I'm not sure.
I'm literally looking
yes.
it up right now so I can watch the trailer later.
If it does not have one of those 3 endings, I will flip this earth. That's how angry I will be. So,
Yeah. I don't know in this day and age, like, I don't know, because if it was the 90s, we would know exactly how this was going to end. I've seen
Yes.
Sweet Home Alabama.
Yes.
right.
Like, we know what's going to happen here. But with this, I don't know.
Materialists.
Oh, The Materialists.
Okay. I have it pulled up so I can watch it after we record. Okay.
All right.
I'm prepped.
Oh, I don't think it's out yet.
No, I'm watching the trailer. I haven't seen the trailer.
The
Yeah.
trailer. Okay. Yeah. I am intrigued by that. And yeah, I do. Isn't Dakota Johnson dating Chris Martin?
I think yes.
Yes.
I think you're
I
right.
like
Yeah.
that.
I don't
I do
dislike it.
too.
I don't dislike
Yeah.
it.
I've told this story before, I think, but I literally ran into Chris Martin whenever I worked in the same kind of like plaza as Warner Music, and I'm guessing that's why he was there. But I was in the parking garage, same parking garage where I also ran into the guy who plays Saw, and that was scary.
That is scary. Jesus.
Dark parking garage. But I ran into Chris Martin. That man is fine
Really?
in real
Okay.
life. He's tall.
Yeah.
And he's really
Ooh,
tall,
yeah.
and he's hot.
Okay.
Like there is, I don't know. There are like certain people who you know are good looking, but you're just like, yeah, like they're a good looking person. And then you see them in real life and you're like, oh, like you're like the camera actually detracts from your hotness.
Okay.
Wow.
You know?
I feel
And
like
I feel like for me, Chris Martin was one of those people.
I think that this would be a very interesting FMK is like the most attractive person you've run into in real life, celebrity.
Oh, Milo Ventimiglia.
I know it was.
I
gonna
know
be that.
you've said that before.
1000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
%. He is so attractive that it makes words difficult. And
That
to
would be hard.
behave as a normal person and like actually like serve his table and have him look at you and say your name is
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's
you
a
get
thing.
it. We just recorded our episode on Notting Hill for the patrons. And yeah, Christina, you understand. That's the whole like premise of that movie. It's like when you're around somebody famous who's like jaw-droppingly gorgeous in real life, you're like, brain don't work no more. I can't.
I should have just kissed him.
Yeah.
I'm sure that would have gone over really, really well.
Yeah. I feel like you could have kept your job easy. It would have been fine.
Oh.
I feel like nobody would have said
Would have been-
anything. Nothing.
Nobody would have
It
filed
would
any
have been fine.
charges
No.
or
Totally
anything.
fine.
Yeah.
Surprise kiss him after like delivering his like tofu platter or whatever you used to order. Oh, my God.
Well, you know, if this was a 90s rom-com, that would have worked for you. You guys would be married right now.
If only life was, you know.
Exactly.
You know, I didn't run into him, but I did see Michael B. Jordan on the lot once. And like from a distance.
I think that counts still.
God damn. Like
From
how
a distance.
the world. But like it's one of those people when they're so like muscles. Like I can't even form words. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when someone's body
You run
looks
into
like that,
muscles.
like
mean,
in a t-shirt, when you can like see everything,
oh,
and I'm just like,
yeah.
how do you maintain that? Like, how
Dude.
do you look like this in life? Like just out at Starbucks or whatever.
I have a sliding scale. That middle part is just right. Like a guy that like
Oh, yeah.
keeps it tight, but it's not like, you know, bodybuilding steroids, taking testosterone, like jacked up. That's scary to me. But like a guy that just keeps it tight. Oh my God. Woo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I don't even need muscles is the thing. Like, I don't need it. I like all different kinds of body types. It's just when you see someone with like the body of a Greek god in real life, you're like, what? How? You know what I mean? And I did see this scale because it was like some bodybuilder guy who like could not compute that the male gaze and the female gaze do not line up. Because there was like some kind of thing done on the internet, some corner of the internet, where women were saying that like Brad Pitt's body in Fight Club is like the most, you know, like it's like where we want to be. Anything past that is like too much.
Too much. Yep.
Do you know?
Agreed.
And like bodybuilder guys cannot understand this.
Yeah.
Because for them, they're just like more is more.
I feel
But
like
for
it
women,
looks like
you
work.
get to a point.
I just feel like it's not even an intimidating thing, or it's like it is too much at some point, and it's like, oh, you just look exhausting.
Well, and also, yeah, it feels like supplements. It feels like a lot of plain chicken breasts. And I'm like, who wants to live? I don't want to live like that.
It feels like you listen to Manosphere podcast.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like when you get to a certain level of built, I'm just like, you call women females.
Oof.
You know? Like that's the energy I'm getting when you get to like
Yeah.
a certain level. And I'm not saying you are that. I'm just saying those are the
It's
vibes.
what you're given. It's what you're putting
Yeah.
out for sure.
Yeah, it's just the male gaze and the female gaze are just different, you know?
Yeah. I like everything in moderation, you know? Like I support listen, working out is a great hobby. I fucking wish that I was into it a
Same.
little bit more. But,
Speaking of, I am starting a new Chloe Ting challenge tomorrow.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'll do it with you. What is it?
I'll send it to you. I don't remember
Okay.
it off the top of my head, but I was like, I
will want to do it as well
Okay.
because I am going to do dry April.
Me
'Cause
too.
for
Are
my
you really?
birthday. That's
Yeah.
disrespectful.
Oh, sorry.
Well, you're not here. So it worked out. I'm like, nothing's going on in April. It's a 30-day month. I'm doing a 30-day challenge.
I love that because
Yeah.
March has been hard, and
Yes.
I've been just like wine at night to get through March, and I'm starting to
Same.
feel like a little like ugh.
Yeah.
So
Same.
a dry April sounds great, and I've been wanting to get back into working out. I was just going to
Yep.
start jogging, but if
Okay.
you're doing a Chloe Ting challenge,
All
I'll
right.
do one with you.
I'll send it.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
convinced my friend here in Hamburg to do it with me, and she was intimidated by a longer one. So I was like, we'll start with 2 weeks, and then we'll pick up a new one. So we'll do
Okay.
a 2-week challenge, and then we can go into like a more extended one.
Okay. I will say this because I've done a few Chloe Ting ones before. The 2-week
I know.
ones are a little
Ass
intense
kickers.
because they have more workouts. It's like a longer workout every day.
Yeah. Well, it might have been
Ooh.
20 days, maybe. I know that she was
Okay.
the first one I had recommended was like 45, I think. And she was like, "Oh,
too
no,
long.
can't
Yeah, I'm
do
with
that."
you on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's start off spring strong.
Okay.
It has been a long winter.
Oh my God,
Um,
Jesus. It has.
We're all
Yeah. Exactly that.
I mean, I think if you're in the US and you're being bombarded, I don't think we have to say anything about it. Guard your heart.
Yeah.
And I
Protect
need
yourself.
to protect yourself. And yeah, I think it's a worthwhile thing to take a step back, make sure you're healthy. I've got some magnesium now
Okay.
to take at
Oh,
night
good.
to go to sleep with. I'm going to try that. Buyoptimizers.com/myworstate. No, just kidding. But maybe
I mean, who
if
knows?
it works, maybe.
You know, I feel like this is the time. We talked about this before, I think, but like the spring equinox is really the time to
Yes,
do
that
your
is a new
resolutions.
year.
Like now is the time for New Year's resolutions. It's starting to warm up.
Yep.
We have hope again, maybe.
Yeah.
And with that said, I will say it is Aries season now.
Yes, it
I was
is.
just having this conversation with our mutual friend Jill about how the Pisces to Aries transition is the most violent of the zodiac.
It really
Well, it
and we're
is because
also-
it's just
We're also in a Venus retrograde and a Mercury retrograde right now.
and
aren't
an
we?
eclipse and an
And an
eclipse.
eclipse.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's
My
it's
God.
a fucking fire out there. So
Yes.
tread lightly. Be careful with making decisions.
Yeah.
Yep.
Be careful
No contracts.
in the conversations that you're having right now, especially with loved ones, because that Venus retrograde is going to hit you fucking hard. But yeah, because Pisces is so like Earth Mother. Everything's kind of like calm and chill and go with the flow, and then you get to
War.
fucking Aries. Yes,
Yes.
War guy.
we're going fucking hard, bitch.
Yeah.
But with that said, do you guys want to fuck, marry, kill some Aries?
Oh, sure.
I mean, this is
Sure.
not good for me, Cassie. Maybe could be good for Keegan.
I mean,
I'm
Pedro
certainly
is
used
an
to
Aries,
it.
so
Ooh, yeah. Let me see. But this is a difficult sign for me.
yeah.
I know it is. There's a lot of trauma associated with it for you.
Yes.
But you know what? You have better luck with Aries women. So maybe pick a lady.
That's true.
Or you could choose maybe a March Aries, like a Ewan McGregor.
Oh,
That's
yep.
oh yeah, where
Yeah.
they have a little bit of that Pisces.
Sure. Matthew
And
Broderick.
Residual Pisces on him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Matthew Broderick. Who's
Yeah.
that guy?
What?
He's married. He's Ferris Bueller.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's
Married to
been
Sarah
with-
Jessica Parker.
Oh,
They're both
okay.
Aries.
Love that for them.
Woof.
Okay. I think I know who I'm going to pick.
Okay.
Okay.
I think I'm going to go with Jessica Chastain.
Oh, okay.
She's an Aries.
Yes, she is a March Aries. Actually, the day we're recording this, her birthday will be in 2 days, March 24th.
Well, I actually am picking another March Aries, and that will be Keira Knightley.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, we got two pretty ladies.
Yeah, that's a big strong energy too. I'm not sure if I've done this one for Aries before, but I'm going to go Seth Rogen.
Ooh.
We haven't done him in a minute, so I will allow it.
You're
Yeah,
allow
I
it?
like that.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Seth Rogen, Jessica Chastain.
3 Aries, but 3 really
Different vibes.
Very
Aries.
different.
Yes.
Yeah. Is Seth Rogen a March or April Aries?
He's April 15th.
April 15th. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. That
He's got
Not
a
in
bit
a
of
bad
that
way.
chaotic energy, which is
it's a little
Yeah.
chaotic. But I love Seth Rogen.
I do
like
too.
him in
I
interviews.
I
I think he has a real good honesty about him. His relationship with his wife seems
Yes.
solid as hell. He seems funny and smart.
he's got a contagious laugh that's very,
Oh, love his laugh.
That's so
love his
funny.
laugh. Yeah.
I wonder what the
yeah.
rest of his sign is. Or like,
chart?
you know, his chart.
Yeah. You know, you have Jessica Chastain, who I think kind of comes off a bit serious for me. I feel like
She
we would
does.
fight
Yeah. I could see that actually.
in a
you
relationship.
too.
As friends,
Yeah.
I think we'd be great. I think in
Yeah.
a relationship, we'd be like, okay, I've had enough of each of us. We're plenty.
She does seem like she has a lot of earth in her chart along with Aries.
She's giving me a little mystery, which I'm
Yeah.
very intrigued by. Like, there's something about her, like in that. Who was she with? Where he? Oh, it was Oscar Isaac, where he
Oh,
kissed her shoulder. One of the
Woof.
hottest things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And her energy during that was so sexy,
Yeah.
like mysterious sexy to me, that I'm very intrigued. And Keira Knightley, I mean, Pride and Prejudice.
Pride and Prejudice.
I think that is a thing about Aries that I've seen in like celebrities. It's like I feel like they have a mysterious sexiness about them. Like they're not
Sexy,
giving
yeah.
you everything, which is weird to me about Aries, because I feel like Aries are like, blah, here's everything about me.
I think that they're kind of loud and boisterous and in your face in some ways, but there is an innate sexiness about Aries. I feel like
you.
that's kind of a thing. You're so welcome. I think that that's kind of a thing with fire signs in general. There's like
Yes.
it's sexual. I feel like fire signs are like the most sexual of the
Don't tell Scorpio that. They will be furious.
well, the most overtly sexual. How about that? Like the
I would
most
say
like,
that's true. Probably,
Yeah.
I would say that Aries probably have the most. We're probably no, I can't say that, because I also think I go back to like Scorpio or something. I feel like we got kinks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. These are 3. This is
Yeah.
really difficult. I've been sitting here ruminating,
I know.
Mm-hmm.
Who you got?
I think I know what I'm going to do.
Okay.
Okay.
This is really hard. But I'm going to marry Seth Rogen.
Okay.
I think I need somebody that is going to have a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I went back and forth because I almost married Keira Knightley because I feel like she has a good sense of humor as well.
Yeah.
I feel like you two, of these three, I feel like you and Keira Knightley are the most similar.
Yes.
True.
Like
I would agree
personality
with
wise.
that.
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that's why I'm going to fuck her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like fucking yourself.
Gosh, she's pretty. That woman is so beautiful.
She's gorgeous.
Yeah.
She's gorgeous.
Yeah.
She's beautiful. I mean, everybody is attractive on this list. I mean,
Yeah.
Jessica Chastain is like,
Jesus.
she's intimidating.
She's too hot.
She intimidates
Yeah.
me a little
She
bit.
is intimidating.
It's one of those things where I'm like, I have like a skin tag in my armpit right now. And I would be like,
Don't look.
so mortified if she saw it, because it's like, it's really long.
I have a skin
looks
tag
like-
in my armpit right now too.
Dude, it's
I'm
like
not
so long.
Okay,
Can
mine's
we
not that
talk
long, but it's
about
like,
what are skin tag? Like
I
feel
don't
like I
know.
sound very stupid right now, but I feel like because I thought they were just moles on my neck. Like I've got like but because they're very very tiny. They look like just ink dots.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Oh.
But I'm
No,
like, are those skin tags? Is that what that is? And how
No.
do they develop? What is happening?
How do they develop? How do you get rid of them? I bought something from TikTok to take them away.
oh wow.
And so, yeah,
Is
I
it
don't know what
working?
it's going to do. No, I
you
haven't
haven't-
used it yet. I just
Oh.
got it. But I'm
Okay.
like, I'm going to get rid of the weird skin tag under my armpit
Yeah.
so that if I ever do meet Jessica Chastain, she won't be completely repulsed by me.
Yes,
But
of
you
course.
know what? I don't think she would be. I feel like Jessica Chastain would be so gentle and be like, "You're beautiful." You
Have
know,
you
I can
met
see her
an
like
Aries?
gently caressing your face and telling you that you're beautiful just the way you
Keegan.
are.
Have you? have
She
you
would
met
be
an
like,
Aries?
what is that?
What the fuck is that? That is the most.
What the fuck is
yes,
that?
That's an Aries move.
Yes.
What's that?
And I would be like, I'm just going to see myself out right now.
What's that?
What's that?
Oh my god!
Ew, what's
Do you
that?
know how
But no, she'll say,
devastated I would be?
"Ew,
that
what's
would
that?"
be so much. Honestly, just pointing and saying "What's that?"
Ew.
is
Oh.
worse
No.
than like.
No, it's ooh. What's that? Keegan, you know it is. It is. I'm an Aries. I can confidently say it's ooh.
Ew,
what's
what's
that?
that?
Ooh, what's that? And then immediately be like, oh my god, I'm such a fucking asshole. This is that's
Yeah.
100%.
You're
Ooh,
right.
what's that? Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
My soul has already left my body, though.
I could see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Well, this is tricky because my instinct was to also marry Seth Rogen, but here's where I'm at this like spring awakening, New Year kind of vibes.
You
where
got to
it's
go
all
with the
about like
nicest one because we're all mean.
Well, I thought Jessica Chastain was the nicest one, but now I'm scared.
Ooh, what's that?
Well, actually, I think that Seth Rogen is probably the most genuinely nice one,
Yeah.
but he's definitely gonna what's that, and then be like, I'm so sorry.
No, but like who out of the three
Yeah.
months down the line, you've been like sleeping together, hanging out, dating, you're totally in love, and a fart escapes your butt.
Ooh,
Who out of
Seth
the three?
Rogen.
Seth Rogen.
For sure.
Yeah.
Seth.
Yeah.
Is gonna be
But
be
here's-
okay with it.
Seth.
Here's
I
the
would
thing.
never, the way that I would literally have to have another apartment to go in and fart
A
if
fartpartment.
a fart apartment. If I was dating Jessica Chastain, oh my God, I'm not going to defile the air that she breathes with my fecal particles.
See, now
you
Seth Rogen,
kidding
I would probably lift my leg up and do it.
I know, I do it
my
on him.
God. Well, I'm not doing any of that with anybody ever.
Oh, we know.
But here's the thing. Like, I think I am going to marry Seth Rogen. Here's my hesitancy with Seth Rogen is I think he is going to love you just the way you are, which is
He's going to make jokes and he's going to hurt
Yeah.
your feelings.
I feel like, to be fair, Keegan, I think it's got to be Keira.
I think so too.
She's got the gentlest soul for sure.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna go with that because here's my concern with Seth is
Guard your
that
heart.
it's gonna be he's gonna make jokes that are gonna hurt my feelings. He's also going to let me lean into my worst impulses in terms of like yeah, you don't need to. Why are you getting up early to go on a jog? You don't need to do that. Have an extra scoop of ice cream. Like he's gonna
enabler,
let me, which is beautiful. Like I love that he loves
But-
me just the way I am.
but your willpower
but I
must be
think I
strong.
need somebody who's gonna like help me, like motivate me to be my best self. So I'm with you. I think middle of the road, I'm gonna marry Keira. She's got that like beautiful ethereal energy, but still has a bit of a sense of humor. Yeah, I think that's great. I'll just have to deal with being the less attractive one in the relationship. It's fine. I'll make it work.
You guys are a power couple.
Yeah, no shit.
And I am gonna fuck Jessica Chastain.
Yeah.
There is like a sexy energy with that woman that I want to get to the bottom of. I want to go on a date with her. I want to like, I want us to femme fatale. While drinking red wine.
Absolutely.
I think that sounds good to me. And Seth Rogen, love him. Precious.
Friends. Yeah.
I am marrying Seth Rogen because I need someone who can let me be me, let me live my life. And I feel like he will. And we will laugh all the fucking time together.
Yeah.
We will laugh all the time together. And surprisingly, even though he will be critical of things, I won't ever take him seriously, so it won't matter.
Right.
Well, I don't think he'll mean it seriously either.
Exactly.
Like his energy is not like, I don't think he's being mean on purpose.
He has the same energy I have, which is that sometimes I'm mean and I'm like, oh my God, I'm such a fucking asshole. It's never actually malicious. It's always accidental assholiness. And I'm like, fuck, I'm such a piece of shit. So
like asking Eric about his mom when his mother's dead. That remember?
Yeah. I don't want to talk about that. Your mom.
Your mom.
Dead. Wow.
Like I think about that all the time.
Oh, so do I. Daily.
It was like the first time you hung out with Christina's now husband.
Yeah.
And she made like a your mama joke.
It's like, well, she's dead. I'm like, well, I'm going to peel my skin off and exit existing. So cool.
Honestly though, if we're going to be mad about something, it should be me. Like, I know you like forever. I should have given you a heads up. Hey, no, your mom jokes because dude's mom's dead.
Christina.
So honestly, I'm going to take that as an L for myself.
Listen, Christina, here's what you need to remind yourself, or maybe not. You did.
Oh,
you
right.
did.
I did.
Oh, you
That's
did.
right. So
did.
that L is fully on you.
Fucking did. And it was like my body was like, oh, I got one for you. What is wrong with me? You
know what? Actually, I feel like sometimes being warned about something actually makes it worse. Because now it's in your brain. Yeah.
So you're saying no mom, your mom joke. I mean, you did.
Don't tell me what to do.
Shut up. Oh, you don't want me to do that? Fuck you. I do what I want. Yeah.
Oh,
no,
God.
you did warn me, in fact, because you do know me and you are a good friend. I'm an asshole. Jesus Christ.
So funny.
Okay, so
Truly.
I'm going to marry Seth Rogen. I am going to fuck Jessica Chastain too because
Yeah. She seems like she's got an edge. Yeah. A
I'll
biter.
meet you there.
She's a biter.
I'll meet you there.
Oh, yeah. Love that. I feel like she is fiery in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Keira, I feel like Keira and I could be friends for sure.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Definitely. Yeah.
I love this.
Ugh.
Well, you guys want to take 5 and then we'll come back with stories?
Sounds good.
Yes. And we're back. All right, Cassie, kick us off.
Okay. So my story was titled Not Romantic, Bro. I, 42 female, flew halfway across the U.S. to visit a guy, 45 male, who had been very active in trying to woo me. We have known each other for almost 15 years, but have only seen each other twice in 10 years, and only recently reconnected in the last 2 months. We did go out.
And so that Cassie thinks it's the most romantic thing ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're like, oh, it's
You
meant to
should
be.
go.
Yes, go fly across the country
Do
to
it.
go see this guy you haven't seen in 10 years.
I'm the devil on your shoulder. Do it. Try it. Go for it. Get your points. Get some miles out of this. We
Practical.
we did go out on dates when we first met, but I stopped seeing him for a variety of reasons, including immaturity. He had addressed this in recent months and stated multiple times that he had changed and intended to put forth his best efforts to have me in his life. The evening, I'm like, red flag. The evening of my arrival.
You don't get to say that you're more mature now.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm
like
gonna
I
be the
don't
judge
think
of
people, people aren't good judges of their
Self-growth.
own maturity level.
No.
You know?
The evening of my arrival, he was already acting a little funny, but I attributed it to nerves. After dinner and drinks, we went back to his place to hang out and plan the next day, which was to be a road trip. Things went south pretty quickly. The first red flag was using the restroom with the door open, scoffing when I asked him to close it, and then doing it
Can you
again.
imagine you have built this person up in your mind? You know, that
Waited.
it's going to be this grand romantic thing. And one of the first things they do is go to the bathroom with the door open.
And he's telling you how much more he's matured.
Is it a number 1 or a number 2? Is that specified?
I don't think it matters at this point.
Either.
When you say you've matured, and I'm sorry, we haven't been married for 20 years. No.
Yeah, that's
It
also
takes
true.
No energy to shut the bathroom door. Like,
Zero.
What is wrong with you?
Zero effort.
So we've been playing. If I don't shut the bathroom door all of the way, Leroy can like push it open with his head. And I am oftentimes, if I'm working, I'm somebody that gets really irritated by having to take a pit. Like I get so irritated, like, oh my God, I have to get up. I have to go. It's just very, very irritating. So sometimes I'll wait until the very last minute and then bolt from my desk to the bathroom. And I don't shut the door all the way, and then Leroy comes barreling in, and it's like terrible. But the other thing that starts happening is if I don't shut the door and lock it, is that Eric has thought that this is funny to barrel in through the door with Leroy and go, search warrant. Because
no.
Search warrant. Oh my God, why is that so
I hate that. I hate it. Like,
Keegan's dying. I'm cracking. My face is red.
So yeah, I've had to really make a conscious effort to give myself enough time to not only like make it to the toilet, but to shut and lock the door so I don't get search warranted.
Oh my God, no. I would be so mortified. Like, what if you're in the middle of like pooping?
That's his
well,
problem.
then I'm definitely locking it. But yeah, like even peeing, I think I look like such a goblin. I don't want that image of my husband.
No, it's not. No one looks attractive in that position. Like nobody.
It's terrible.
Like it's the worst. Like angle. It's impossible to look hot on the toilet.
Yeah, I will say though, like if the guy is like, I don't think it's that bad. If you're standing up and peeing, I don't think it's that bad. But to your point, Cass, they've been
this
like
is the first fucking date.
Keep it sexy.
I mean,
this is the first date. Someone had to go through TSA to fucking be here.
Exactly. You went through so much effort to be here, and I'm gonna fucking piss or shit with the door open.
It's an effort thing.
That is
like
exactly
that's really
right.
what it is.
That's
is
right.
Like it is an effort thing where it's just like, I mean, look, men peeing standing up, it's not like that big of a deal. Like, but it's just
an
it
effort
takes
thing. You're
so
right.
little effort just to shut the door, and it's just a respect thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, and also, keep it sexy. Like, I want to know that you want to impress me. I want to know that you've been thinking about me all these years, the way that I've been thinking about you all these years, and you want to like give a good first impression because you want to hold on to me, and that is not giving that energy.
Right.
That's right.
You're
That's right.
Using the bathroom with the door open.
Exactly. We started kissing and he began to grope me and tried to put his hands down my pants. When I pushed him away and told him that's not romantic or acceptable, he rolled over and started to vocally pout. Ugh, the fucking worst. Gross.
Oh my
There
God.
is nothing less attractive than a pouty adult man.
Nothing. The most unattractive.
Correct. Yeah.
He then told me he was going to go to the bathroom and jack off because I wasn't going to get him off. Gross. And then restated this multiple times, I think in some sort of attempt to get me to change my mind. Nothing is less sexy
No.
than
Gross.
banging.
No, this is now I'm actually getting concerned. I'm like,
Gross.
I'm just gonna get my stuff and get a hotel.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Honestly, same.
Yeah.
Honestly, same. He then pinned me to the bed and farted on me and left for the bathroom. Keegan, this is your worst fucking nightmare.
It wouldn't have gone this far. Like, I wouldn't be on this date in the first place because, like, even if this is the level
Keegan's
of maturity
like,
that
this is assault. This is actually assault. You have assaulted me.
She's like 9-1-1. You fucking held me down and
dare
farted
you?
me.
Oh my God.
I mean, full on loud wet fart. This was within only 7 hours of my arrival.
Shut the fuck up.
I became very upset by this. I was mortified as to how I could
she didn't
trust
know she was
someone.
going to the Fartpartment.
Oh God, I was mortified as to how I could trust someone to fly away from home and then see them and they could violate my trust in such a manner. This is such a Keegan, violate my trust.
Well,
Truly, though.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean,
Truly is,
and like,
though.
I need to know the circumstances with which they first met. Because I understand romanticizing. I am a Pisces. I get
15
like
years.
romanticizing the shit out of like somebody from your past. I get that. So I need to know like how they met. What were their interactions like up until this point? Because if he's doing this stuff now,
At 40,
most likely he was. I missed that. I missed that he was 43.
She's 41 and he's 43.
Oh, fuck no. I'm 41. I'm out of there. I'm staying at the Hilton. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Like,
Exactly.
I know. The red flags kept piling on after that. I decided to still go on the road trip around 3 hours.
girl.
Because I had already flown.
The last thing you need to do is be in an enclosed vehicle
No.
with this man.
Oh, God.
No. Can you fucking imagine?
No.
It is just a moving Dutch oven. Absolutely not.
I'd already flown this far to see one of my top bucket list destinations. While we're getting ready to leave, I noticed that he didn't pack a toothbrush or even a bag for a 2-day trip. He just grabbed a handful of clothes and threw them in the car. In fact, the entire time I visited, he did not wear anything other than gym shorts that showed his butt crack, even in public, and sloppy tees.
Oh my God, Keegan, this is your literal
This is my worst.
nightmare.
Yeah.
This is your nightmare.
This
like,
is
this is
a
the worst kind of man
40-something-year-old. Yeah,
for me.
who just
Like,
Teenager. 40-year-old teenager.
just, and I'm also just resentful of men when they behave like this because
Yeah.
I just feel like society has set it up for them to be allowed to still act like this at that age. Like,
Yeah.
not that it doesn't happen with women, like there are plenty of like immature women out there, but I feel like it is less rare. I feel like women are kind of forced to like mature and grow up
right.
more quickly.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I just resent whatever series of circumstances allowed you to still function in the world.
Well, and
at
you
this
nailed
age.
it. It's like he is doing nothing
No.
to try to put his best foot forward at
Nothing.
all.
Oh,
Nothing. I get like if you're like this or whatever and you've been together for like 20 years, I don't love that either
I don't
for
either,
a
right.
variety of reasons.
Chris would
But,
never
like,
walk
I
out
think
of the
you-
house in like gym shorts with his crack showing and a sloppy t-shirt on. Let's just,
well, Chris, look, Chris likes to groom himself, which is a good
Thank
thing.
God. Yeah.
Like, thank God, like he keeps his beard tight.
Yeah.
Like he's not going anywhere without a toothbrush.
Oh, hell
and like a change of
fucking no.
underwear. Are you
Disgusting.
kidding me?
Would
Disgusting.
never. Would never.
Never.
He did
And
acknowledge.
it's always those guys that like push your head down to suck their dick, and
They're
it's like
disgusting.
it's been fucking marinating in your gym shorts all day.
God. 43, you guys. 43.
Ew.
He did
No,
acknowledge.
it has like, oh, never mind. Go ahead.
He did acknowledge that I'm into fashion and take pride in always presenting and put together appearance. Even when casual, I expected at least a pair of slacks or jeans at some point, considering we were both we were going to nice places to dine. Like, can you imagine going to dinner with this guy who threw?
I wouldn't.
Fucking
I wouldn't.
gross.
If you're gonna have McDonald's behavior, then
you
we're
get
going
McDonald's
to
meals.
McDonald's.
That's exactly right.
We're not
You
doing
do.
a sit down anywhere.
You do.
McDonald's behavior. This is truly McDonald's behavior.
It is. And you get what you dress for. I'm going to a nice place
right.
and you can go to McDonald's.
Yeah.
For the entirety
We're
of
in our 40s.
I know. For the entirety of the journey, he wanted to listen to a podcast of his, quote, bros, who regularly talked, amongst other things, about how they think that women they discussed were like in bed, if they could, quote, nail a certain woman, and if they think they can cup both of the random woman's breasts in one hand. It was crude. The way they were talking about women was inappropriate, and it clearly showed me more about how this person views women. This was defended by saying that these guys are his, quote, bros, which I do not think he actually knows them personally.
Oh, God.
And that they live, quote, fabulous lives. So what are they doing? What they're doing can't be all that wrong. When we arrived, he promptly gotten his only pair of shoes wet. The entire trip was planned around hiking the next day, so that was then completely ruled out. I had to drive to a store and find pool shoes for him to wear so we could go out for dinner.
No, like, girl, cut your losses.
Gym shorts,
I would have
sloppy
left this
t-shirt,
man.
gym shorts, sloppy
Honestly,
t-shirt,
And especially
and
if
swim
that's
shoes.
like a bucket list destination and it's like, is that how you want to experience
Remember
it though?
it? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like, honestly, even if I would pay to get this man out of my life. I would be like, I will buy you a train ticket home. I just so I don't have to deal with this, and I will proceed with this road trip by myself.
Gross.
You had to be his mommy and go to the store and buy him shoes.
Swim shoes. Swim
Oh my God.
shoes, you guys.
Could just like see him at a nice steakhouse
I
asking
know.
for ketchup.
With oh my God. It's so true. Can I
He
get
wants
some
the steak
catsup with
extremely well done.
that? Oh,
Yeah.
gross. Throughout dinner, he complained and pouted about not being able to see the beach or sunset in an area that is famously well known for being extremely foggy. After dinner, we were watching TV, and I asked about him having his hands down his pants. He informed me that he likes to keep his hands around his privates just to twirl his pee-pee around with his finger. No. And then was very defensive and trying to convince me that this was normal behavior.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not. Oh my God. Sometimes I so vehemently detest the fact that I'm heterosexual.
Me too.
And this is one of these moments.
Me too. It is a crime. Like, honestly,
This is how I know sexuality is not a choice, people. Okay? Like,
what the
'cause
fuck? Truly.
You think we would choose this? Absolutely not. No.
After driving home from the trip, we did talk about how I was feeling, but not in great detail. I very clearly voiced that his behavior was unacceptable, that I did not want to be treated that way, and acting like I'm, quote, one of the bros is absolutely not romantic. The discussion turned into me having to comfort him for some reason because he felt so bad about how he was acting.
I am so triggered.
Dude,
I'm so triggered.
There was a TikTok that I saved because it was like, apologize to me like a man. And some of the responses were just like, well, I'm sorry you feel that way. Or like having be like, well, I guess I'm just a piece of shit then.
I guess so. I guess you
Yeah, I
fucking
guess
are.
so.
Because
I guess
I've
so.
definitely experienced
You
that.
can't
in
use
my
that on
life.
me because I
And
am the
that
one.
You can't use that on me anymore either. It worked whenever I was younger. Like, absolutely would work. Where they could like fucking turn those tables, and it's so manipulative. They know exactly what they're doing. And these days, if you tell me, well, I guess I'm just a piece of shit,
Guess
then
you
my
are.
answer is, yeah, I guess you
Yeah.
are. Like,
Yeah.
You said
get
it.
fucked.
Yep.
Oh my God. Like, your behavior has been shitty. Yeah. You've been shitty. I'm glad that you can recognize that. Good.
Surely.
The night before leaving, he had gone to bed early, and I could hear and even feel his really terrible snoring. He has sleep apnea, but refuses to go to the doctor about it. And from the other room, so I decided to go sleep on the couch. He woke me up and tried to insist that I sleep in bed with him, stating that it was very important to him, even if it meant that I didn't get any sleep, and was annoyed by the noise. Then he tried to insist that he was going to not sleep all night and stay up on the couch so he could be by me. It took an extended amount of time to convince him to go back to bed and please let me sleep. After that,
what happened in this man's childhood? Like, I need a therapist to step in.
Truly.
Because, like, this is child mommy behavior.
This feels like only child behavior too.
yes. Yeah. Oof. After that discussion, he woke me up no less than 3 more times. When I woke up, he was sitting within 5 feet of me in the kitchen with his back to me, just scrolling on his phone. I found that odd and creepy. I was exhausted from our trip and lack of sleep, and leading up to my departure, kept asking what he did wrong and why I was being so quiet and distant. I bit my tongue because I didn't want to participate in another discussion that would end up in me having to soothe his ego. I'm now back home and starting to fully process this whole trip. I'm completely appalled and shocked by all of this behavior. I think my fear of someone acting in this manner toward me and being treated this way is why I haven't attempted dating in recent years. None of this was romantic and quite frankly was an extreme opposite for me. I refuse to be gaslit into believing that this is acceptable behavior. Am I overreacting?
Oh, girl, no.
God,
absolutely
no.
fucking not. You're underreacting.
Truly.
Underreacting.
Yeah. Block.
Gross.
Gross. That was fucking, oh my
I
God. What a
feel like
roller coaster.
I'm traumatized by having to hear about it.
I'm upset for her. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Wow.
think, though, this story would have ended with Keegan at the juicy fart. If I'm on.
Oh, I mean, 100%. Yeah, no, I would have been
41.
out. We wouldn't have been on that date. Like, I would have been going on that road trip by myself. Like, there's
Yeah.
no.
You're not even 40 yet. So I think we can confidently say that you would not even at this age where you are now, not even close. No.
Grow up. Like, that's such a turnoff. Like, at this point in my life, I am so done mommying men. Like grow
Life's
the
too
fuck
short.
up. Like,
Yeah.
I had to do, like, I have to figure my shit out. I got to do like stuff on my own for myself all the fucking time. I figure it out.
Yep.
Ugh, I'm so irritated.
Well, here you go. This one's a little lighthearted. 38 male here. I was 16 at the time. My mom hooked me up with a family friend's 17-year-old daughter for a date. Not sure why. I was more engrossed in games than dating at the time. I had just gotten my braces off and I was missing a tooth. Lateral incisor. It's the one directly to the right of my 2 front teeth on top when facing me.
Not the time to go on your first date.
No.
You know?
The one on the other side was really small, but it was there, so the dentist built it up with composite material to match. Since I was missing the other one entirely, I had to get a dental cantilever bridge, and since permanent dental bridges had to be custom made, the dentist fitted me with a temporary one and loosely cemented it in.
Uh-oh.
So the dinner date was awful. She mostly talked about herself and her obsession with running. Even when attempting to change the subject, she would circle back to how much she runs track and long distance and the 100-meter dash and the shoes she uses for running. I was relieved when we had to go to the movie, as just listening to her talk about running made me exhausted.
Yeah.
So I felt
like me. No.
we
worn out.
could talk about music while in the car. During the movie, we sat side by side. She was to my right, and I held the popcorn. At some point, I bit into a kernel, and the temporary cement on my dental bridge broke loose. I could push it back into place with my tongue, and it would stay mostly, So I wasn't too worried about it.
It fell in
I
the
just
popcorn.
had to stop
Oh,
eating
no.
It's gonna end up in the popcorn for sure.
no.
Yeah. Here it
and keep
comes.
talking to a minimum so it wouldn't slip out. After the movie, I drove her back to her house. I didn't need to say much as she got right back onto her obsession with running. We arrived and I walked her to her house. She kissed me on the cheek and I smiled and said I had a good time. Oh no. I had a good time.
I had a good
And
time.
I had a good time. And I turned around and walked back towards my car. I stopped at the gate and I turned around to wave bye and she said, "Fuck it." And she ran up to me and kissed me on the lips and jammed her tongue into my mouth.
No.
She was trying to Notting Hill that moment.
Surprise kiss.
Surprise kiss. Here I am getting glomped by a girl on my first date with my first kiss. Her eyes are closed and she's really going for it. And I'm eyes half open making this face. She's got the fucking emoji with the doing my best to keep my tongue pressed to my dental bridge to hold it in place
How
while
awkward.
she swirls her tongue around my other teeth.
Oh. It's also
It
two
worked.
people who don't know how to kiss yet.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they're 16 and 17.
Yeah.
This guy's trying to hold a fucking dental bridge in place with his tongue while she's trying to like get in there. Oh my God.
Also, if
what
you're
a
going to
mess.
surprise kiss somebody, leave the tongue out of it at
Yeah.
first. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait
yeah,
till
yeah.
that moment heats up for the tongue entrance.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Oh my God, dude. It's so bad. It worked, but I guarantee you, you could not imagine a worse kiss.
Of course.
I still don't know how she pulled away from that and smiled and said she'd see me later. That kiss was awful, but luckily not par for the course. I got my permanent bridge a few days later, but we did not go out on another date, nor does she know. We are, though, still friends.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So like 17-year-old first kiss and being 38 and you're still friends. I
That's
actually
cool.
kind of like
That's
that.
That is
lovely.
cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is actually cute.
The
I'm
whole
still
time
friends
I was
with my
holding my
first
tooth
kiss.
in. Are you?
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Last I heard,
No.
he was in jail.
Oh.
So.
Mine died.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
yeah. I mean,
Well, that took a turn.
yikes.
I know. Yeah. I'm like, I'm
Sad.
not that old. It's sad.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Ohio's.
Yeah. Ohio's.
Ohio got him. I know.
Okay. I was 17 and a coworker who I didn't know really well asked me out. I didn't like him, but my mom pressured me to go because I didn't really date. Moms interfering.
Come on.
He said we were going to get food and watch a movie. So I didn't eat. I was super nervous about going. 5 p.m., he picks me up and says that the movie isn't starting yet. So let's go to Bass Pro Shop.
What?
Let's go to Bass Pro.
Well,
Yeah.
Let's go walk around Bass Pro Shop.
Okay.
Yeah. Did this take place in Springfield, Missouri? I was confused, but also a total doormat at this time. So I didn't say anything. As we were getting out of his car, he straps on a gun belt,
No.
an empty gun belt.
No.
And he starts walking towards the Bass Pro Shop.
I don't.
No idea why he wanted to wear an empty holster into the store, but then we're walking around and I'm uncomfortable about all the taxidermied animals and he laughs at me. When we walk to the pistol section, he's like, "Do you like guns?" I
No.
was honest.
Not on a first
No.
date, especially.
Yeah,
With
you
a
don't know.
stranger?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Let's
I
leave
was
guns
honest.
out of this.
Yeah. And said I'd use them, but not particularly as I had trauma around them. He then tries to convince me to go in for halvesies on a him and her pistol set. This is the most American story of
What
all
in the
time.
fuck?
It truly is.
What in the absolute fuck?
Like matching guns for us.
Oh, God. His and hers.
Absolutely not. His and hers pistol set. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
That's
Finally, it's time for the movie. I'm starving at this point, and he says he's not hungry. I say, well, let's get some popcorn at least. And he says no, and just walks into the theater room. This is
Okay.
a theme of just like inconsiderate, Just
Yes.
inconsiderate people. Like, these are just people who go through life not thinking about anybody other than themselves ever, and not thinking that's a problem.
Yep.
Wow.
Like, what the fuck?
It really, truly is McDonald's behavior.
McDonald's behavior.
All around.
And in fact, an insult to McDonald's. I was just thinking about their fries this morning.
Oh, I mean, yeah. Lovely.
Find out then that the movie is the live action Lion King.
Oh, God.
And the room is full of children.
Of course.
He tried to lean over for a kiss a few times, and I would lean away. At one point, there was a moment where the hyenas make a sudden appearance with loud music, and I yelped. I have trauma around loud noises, and I kid you not, him and a bunch of kids laughed at me. Movies.
I want to go
just
home
getting
now.
laughed at by children. Movie's over eventually, and I'm like, okay, food, and then home. He says he's not hungry, but he has food at his house.
No,
It's
I have
almost-
food at my house too.
I have food at my house. We have McDonald's at home. It's almost 10 p.m. by this point. Again, I'm young and terrified and can't speak up for myself, so eventually agree, but told him I'm not going inside. We get to his house, and instead of going in and getting me food, he sits in his front yard and starts telling me his entire life story.
God.
Oh, God.
Here, I find out he's actually 24 and not 18 like he told my mom.
Oh, danger.
Danger, danger. And then he starts crying.
Oh, God.
And I'm all for men showing their emotions, but I barely know this man. It's dark in his front yard in a shady part of Apache Junction, and he's full on sobbing about his life. You're going to make a 17-year-old girl comfort you?
Yeah. This is a dateline.
Yeah.
Waiting to happen.
I was trying to figure out how to walk home from where I was and told him it was midnight and we both had to be at work early. She works. This is her coworker. So maybe he should take me home. He stops crying and drives me back to my apartment. As I'm getting out, he tries to kiss me again and I dodge it. He says goodnight and he's hungry, so he's going to grab McDonald's.
Oh,
Suddenly now you're hungry.
I
Okay.
fucking knew
Bye.
it.
Knew it.
We knew it.
McDonald's behavior. But also, like, how fucking pissed are you? It's midnight. She's been out with him since 5 p.m. She did not eat before the date because they were supposed to go get food.
Oh, I'm livid.
I'm hangry.
Yeah.
He says bye and drives off. I avoided him like the plague after that.
Yeah.
And he sent me a text a couple weeks later asking if we could take a picture to put on his mom's fireplace mantle.
No.
My
What?
God.
I was moved to a separate department after that. Thank goodness.
Oh,
and
God.
bless him. Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
Yikes on bikes. Wow.
Fucking hate that.
Hey, I know we haven't talked in a couple weeks, but can we take a picture together
For my
for my
mom?
mom's fireplace
No.
mantle?
No, we cannot.
No, absolutely
What a
not,
weird.
you creeper.
That's not a normal request.
No.
You fucking psycho.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
Gross.
No.
Ew.
No. Ugh. Well,
Ugh.
you guys want to take 5 and then we'll come back with the Tainted Love?
Sounds good.
Yes.
And we're back. So I have the Tainted Love for us today. I saw this story on Death by Fame, which we know is one of my favorites. And then I also I saw that there was a 48 hours. I don't remember hearing it or having seen it, even though I have the podcast downloaded. So maybe at some point it passed my ears, but I did not know this story from memory or anything. But I found a lot of information on CBS News on their website, and all that will be in our notes on our website. So it's December 9th, 2010. Police get a call from the Soho House in New York City. People are complaining that water is leaking into their hotel rooms from a room above them. And when they come to take a look at the room, it's flooded. And the body of Sylvie Cachay is in the bathtub wearing a turtleneck, underwear, and her Rolex watch. Police notice that
And Soho House is like really fancy, right?
it's very very exclusive. So this is wild too, because as I was looking, I've been to this Soho House before, this very one, and Like they're showing the room. I'm like, oh my God. Like I've been to a room just like this. I'm sure they all look the same. I'm not saying it's the same one, but I was like, oh, it was like, gave me chills.
Yeah.
Like creepy. Police noticed that there are bite marks on her hand and marks around her neck, and she has petechial hemorrhaging, which would coincide with, this is probably not an accident. This was probably a murder, and a pair of large man's socks in the room. So this is the first things they notice. Let me tell you a little bit about Sylvie Cachay, and why we should know her and why Death by Fame is she's on this show. Sylvie Cachay grew up in a privileged suburb of Virginia. Her father was a prominent surgeon and her mother was an artist. Sylvie understood, deep work ethic, because even though she came into her, a kind of a somewhat privileged life, her parents are immigrants. They had immigrated from Peru. And as a child of immigrants, I think there's just there's a stronger burden. And I think this is something we hear about a lot for people who are children of immigrants, that this is like, there's a lot of expectations to live up to, right? But she was, her mom describes her as always kind of being, a little bit of a, fashionista, a little diva, like always kind of wanting to walk around like with like bows. And she was a kind of really into fashion. She started like collecting bikinis when she was, in like high school. So she went to Parsons fashion school in Paris. No big deal.
Yeah.
Like, wow. And then ended up moving to New York City, where she got an internship with Marc Jacobs. And then right after that, I mean, that's a good internship, Marc Jacobs. And then within her first week of job hunting, she got a job designing for Tommy Hilfiger swim. So
This sounds like Rachel from Friends. That's exactly her.
Her trajectory.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, sorry.
So
complete stupid aside.
She is, really getting into her career. She's designing with swimwear team for Tommy Hilfiger. She moves to Victoria's Secret to become the head of swim for Victoria's Secret. I mean, so she is that's huge. Yeah. She's a rising star in swim fashion. I mean, and Victoria's Secret swim is I mean, that's a big, I mean, that's a good name in fashion,
especially probably at this time.
Especially at this time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're like in the mid-aughts at this point. Like in 2006.
That's huge.
I mean, hell, it's huge just in regular clothes. I mean, people were, So after a big investment, she's able to launch her own brand called Syla. It's Syla or Scylla, or I don't know exactly how they pronounced it, Syla or Scylla. It features, she gets features in Harper's, Vogue, Elle, plus the Sports Illustrated swimsuit video from the year that she launched it. So this is a huge thing. The PR person that they talked to in one of the articles was like, I was glad to have her. Like you could just see that she had it. There were, she was primed and ready to be a runaway hit when it comes to swim and fashion. And she, at the time, I mean, like, she's on top of the world, right? She's engaged to photographer Ben Baker. This is a guy that had done some photography for her in her collection. So she was engaged. And then suddenly the world comes to an end. 2008, the economic bubble bursts, and it literally kicks the feet out from under her brand. She is completely devastated. This is like, there's no coming back from this hit. Like, she's not able to get more investors to back her, because at this point, nobody has money to invest. It's, we all know, we were there. And at this time, she has to close down her business. She has to close down her brand. And she seems to kind of be in a downward spiral. She breaks off her engagement. She really kind of begins to mourn her losses. She's like an extreme low for Sylvie. And, she does end up getting a really lucrative position with Ann Cole Swimwear, which is still quite a big name in swimwear. So she becomes a designer for them. I think she becomes like a lead designer for them, like a head designer. So that's still very good. But she's also walking away from a brand she built, her baby, right? She lost this big, huge thing. She's, she wants to focus on her career. So she's decided to give up on her relationship. She's, down. Enter Nicholas Brooks. So Nicholas, 10 years younger than Sylvie, trust fund kid whose father was Joseph Brooks, an Academy Award winning songwriter. He wrote this famous song. I think you might know it. It was big in the 70s. I vaguely remember it from being a kid. You Light Up My Life. You light up my life. Yeah.
Yep.
I think it was like in a movie, maybe. I know it was because he won an Academy Award for it. So, but this song was like a huge hit in the 70s. People were like, you couldn't escape the song. It was everywhere. And so Joseph made quite the fortune on this film. And not only that, but because the film itself, whatever that he actually invested money in, and the song ended up becoming such a mega hit. And because he'd invested so much money in the film, it was he banked on this one magical moment. And so he was able to kind of,
it's a good time for music too. Like I feel like you can't make money in music the same way that you did like in the 70s or whenever that song came out.
Yeah. The 90s were truly like the heyday for it, the pinnacle. Like anything after the 90s, you can't make that kind of money anymore.
Yeah.
In music, not unless you're like Taylor Swift or something.
Right. And she makes all her money probably in touring. Yeah.
Touring. Yeah.
So Joseph, a little bit about Nicholas's father, and I think that both the show that I watched and the articles that I read, I think they brought this up in every single one of them because it's so pertinent to his upbringing and who he was as somebody who was 10 years younger than Sylvie. Joseph, in his own right, is an absolute piece of shit. When Nicholas is very young, he and his sister, Joseph marries a British actress model. When they break up, they get divorced. She takes the kids. They move to England. He takes the kids from her, brings them back to New York, and Amanda, his older sister, is able to move back with her mom somehow. But Joseph's like, you're cut from my life. You're getting nothing from me. You're not going to get any money. You're not going to get anything. And Nicholas was like kind of caught in the middle. And he was like, if you ever speak to your mother, basically he threatened to take everything away from him.
God, what a piece of shit.
Absolute piece of shit. So worse than that piece of shit, he's a further piece of shit. Again, someone who had dated him in the past had reported that he was very verbally abusive as well, screaming at him all the time. He was a typical absent father. He wants them, but he doesn't really want them. He just wants to win.
Right.
He wants to win.
Yeah.
So he's given Nicholas an apartment, but when he's in high school, he's lonely kid. His dad's basically like, well, if you're lonely, let me introduce you to escort services.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Joseph Brooks, further piece of shit. It gets worse. He's placing ads to lure women to his apartment, offering to mentor young hopefuls. Meanwhile, he's drugging and SAing them yes. Like, yes.
Yeah.
Many aspiring actresses would tell similar stories, and the police finally are able to prosecute him. And based on these accounts, New York arrest him. The police arrest him, and he's charged with over 100 criminal counts of SA and beyond charges.
Not going to be able to listen to that song the same way ever again.
Right.
No.
Wow.
Truly.
He faced basically 25 years behind bars. When Nicholas met
Hold on. Did you say 25?
25 years.
I feel like it should be more.
I mean, yeah. I feel like it should
for
be
100
life.
fucking counts?
For
Yeah.
100? Yeah.
100 criminal counts. Yeah. I think it should be a year for every count.
Forever.
Yeah, this is an unsafe person. Like 25. I mean, I don't know. Whatever. Our justice system is fucked up.
Yeah. Nicholas met Sylvie one night while out, and they were out kind of at a club or whatever. That's where they met. But on their very first date, when they decided to go out, they were out on a walk with Sylvie's two dogs. One of her dogs runs out into the street and gets hit by a car. He runs out to the street, picks up the dog. They take a taxi to the vet, but there's nothing they can do, and the vet ends up having to put the dog to sleep. This is their first fucking actual date.
Oh no.
So he stays with her. He comforts her through this whole thing, and this is like a tragedy. You're losing your dog. I mean, this is like trauma bond for them.
Yeah.
He's there for her, and she's devastated. I mean, like everything's already been hitting her for the past year or two.
Yeah.
And I mean, 2008, we're talking like 2008 late or even 2009 at this point. So all this happens in a really tight span. I mean, she's really at her lowest low. Then she's on a date. Her dog dies. I mean, like they both kind of fall for each other in a way that I think stems from this kind of trauma bond. He's there for her. He's a shoulder to cry on. She's a nurturing mother figure, which he's never really had. And I think he sees this. I mean, how can you not see that relationship she has maybe with her pets and think, oh, this is a caring caregiver? I mean, it was a toxic combination for them. But they both fell for each other and seemed to have a lot of the same interests. They both enjoyed going out and nightlife. But Sylvie starts to complain to her friends that Nick would conveniently, Mr. Richie Rich over here keeps conveniently forgetting about his wallet. It would order lavish meals when they were out together. Her boyfriend was becoming more expensive by the day. She had given him a credit card for small things like grabbing coffee, but she found out that he was using the card to pay for escorts.
Oh,
No.
well, then
No.
we're done. Yeah. No, absolutely not.
So back to December 9th, the police find out, these two people had been at the hotel. The Soho house was like, she came in with a man. She was very not drunk, but she was very she had said she'd taken her sleeping pills for the night. And so the manager of the hotel actually helped escort her up to her room, and she laid on the bed and fell asleep immediately. So the police are like, okay, well, where's the boyfriend? She's here by herself. So they say, if he shows back up, let us know. The police get a call at 5:30 a.m. that he'd returned to the hotel drunk. Nicholas Brooks is, walks in the door, stumbles in the door. He's 3 sheets to the wind. Investigators notice he's not wearing socks. So that's one of the first things. They're like, okay, he was definitely in the room. We can definitely put him in there because those socks were in there. It's fucking winter, dude. You're not going out with your socks off. Investigators also note that his reaction to the death was strange, not very reactive necessarily, but also too were really willing to be like, benefit of the doubt, though he's very drunk, so he's not maybe in his right mind. But they take him to the station, and he's too drunk to even interview, and they were like, you know what, we're gonna it's a late night, you've been out all night,
Let him sleep it off. He
immediately puts his head on the table, falls to sleep. When he wakes up, the police he told the police that they were like, start from the beginning. Like, how did you end up at the Soho house? She has an apartment. Like, how did you guys end up there? He said he had gone over that evening And they'd, kind of been hanging out. They had some of the sex. He hopped into the shower. He had put some candles up on the bedboard, and it made kind of a romantic night or whatever. He said Sylvie took her nighttime medicine to go to sleep, and then he came out of the shower and noticed that the bed was actually on fire, and so freaked out.
Yeah, because why would you put candles on a headboard?
Yeah, especially if you're gonna have sexy time, you're gonna knock one over.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a 24-year-old move. I think it's just real ignorant and like not properly thinking. I guess.
Yeah.
He jumps on the bed. He puts her out, and they put out the fire. And Sylvie, as a member of the Soho House, they decide to get a room there for the night. Once in the room, he says Sylvie mentions taking a bath, because
on sleeping pills,
and that she's got, hairs, been burnt, like she's a bit of a mess. But Nick decides that he's like, I'm just going to go to the hotel restaurant to eat. When he returns to the room, Nick says Sylvie was sleeping, that he assumed that she didn't take a bath, that she just fell to sleep. And he decided to go out. He was too restless and he needed to get out, and he went downstairs and met a guy, a local musician, and they decided to grab a cab and hit the bar. All of this is corroborated by everyone. I mean, they found the guy that he went to the bar with. They just bumped into each other at the hotel and decided to grab a taxi, ran outside, grabbed a taxi, and go find a place. Investigators went to the apartment, Sylvie's apartment, to see about the fire and whatnot. Story seems to check out, seems actually to line up with exactly what he'd said. The fire does seem unintentional. It seems like it was an accident. But the nosy neighbors do say that evening they had heard fighting and crying. They looked around the apartment and found letters back and forth between Sylvie and Nicholas. So one of the last things, one was a list of things, sorry. For example, do your laundry, clean up after yourself. Like
no,
2, 3.
Who wants to date somebody like that? Oh my God.
Who wants to date somebody 10 years younger than them that really needs to be, and it's just like, it's just motherly things, like basically take care of yourself.
What did we just say from Cassie's story?
Yeah.
It's like, you don't, please, like, date at your level. Like, you don't need to date somebody that you have to take care of. Like, even though he's 10 years younger, I mean, like, whatever, we've talked age many times on this podcast, but like a 24-year-old should not have to be reminded to do their laundry.
Right. No.
Like, come on.
Yeah. Absolutely not. It's very motherly. It's a very come to Jesus letter. Like, but it's a list of things though, that for her, she's like, you need to be better at this if we're going to be in a relationship. And I'm like, maybe don't date a 24-year-old. Maybe that's the thing here. He responds to the letter with like a apology, and he would do better. And even though he had money, he had reconnected to his mother, and his father had found out that he'd reconnected to his father. So his father cut him off from the trust fund. So now
I was going to say, this guy doesn't have money.
Well, now they're seeing what's going on.
You gave him a fucking credit card to get you coffee and shit like that. Like, why would you even need to do that?
So that's a personal assistant. Like, get it. This is
right. Like, and also that's just part of a relationship. He can bring coffee. Like, you don't need to get him a credit card to do that. And then to find out that he's making other purchases, including escorts, using that credit card. Yeah, this is a person who he keeps forgetting his wallet when you go to restaurants.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is a person who does not have money.
Exactly.
Like, duh. Like,
Sylvie is not interested in being his sugar mama. And they found an email that basically put him on notice. And the email says, Nick, for the past 6 months, I have supported you financially and emotionally. The fact that you cheated on me makes me sick, and you will fucking pay. I'm speaking with the credit card company and the police, and I'm going to tell them that I never allowed you to use my card, and I don't care. Have fun in jail. So right away, they're like, feels like motive.
Yeah.
Finally, video surveillance comes in from the Soho house. Sylvie is unsteady, but the manager helps her to the elevator to the room, just like I said. Nick finishes at the desk because she's too out of it to do any of the paperwork. They go to the room, then leaves, paces the hallway, goes back in the room, leaves again. And as he is shown meeting the guy, he's leaving the Soho house at 2:18 a.m. He told the police that when he left, she was asleep, but the front desk received a call about the water leak at 2:11 a.m. So how could she have been in bed asleep? You just left the room and already
and
there's
the
enough
water.
water in the room to be leaking. So he was clearly in the room while she was in the tub. So fast forward, June 13th, finally the trial begins. He is found guilty of second-degree murder and is given 25 years to life. His father, who also was supposed to be in prison at this time, had just before him been convicted, he'd committed suicide. I mean, this man is basically going to be destitute at this point anyway. He's bleeding money on lawyers, and now he's in prison, and his son's going to prison. So he commits suicide. But one of the things that was shocking is basically this is a 24-year-old kid. So by the time he gets out of prison, I mean, he's still going to be, 40, 50, depending on if he gets out early, So it's it was a devastating crime. His sister, Amanda, basically has said, she's like, I don't believe he did it. She was like, why would he put her out? Like literally, if there was a fire in the bed, if he wanted her dead, why did he do all that?
Because he didn't want to set the entire Soho house on fire or the entire apartment complex on fire.
I don't know.
But that's not a good enough reason to think he didn't do it. Like, you might want that person dead, but you don't want to, bring the attention of everybody. You don't want to burn the whole apartment complex down. You don't want to bring the attention of everybody to the apartment complex. Like, that's so stupid. Also, he was fucked up, right? Like, he was drunk.
Yeah. So he was wasted drunk. Well, that was after he'd left her. He went out and partied.
Oh, okay. He wasn't drunk when he...
Right. He was not... he wasn't drunk when he left the hotel, but he came back drunk. They did interview the guy that he'd gone out with, and the guy was like, yeah, he was like, we just met the first time we'd met. We went out to the club. He's like, in the middle of the conversation, he did call. He's like, I should call my girlfriend, see if she's doing okay. And, she didn't answer. He's like, oh, I should probably go check on her, that kind of thing. But by this time, he's like fucking shit-faced. So that's a lot of drinking in 3 hours, by the way, to get that drunk.
Yeah.
So that's basically the story. And it's really, her mom and dad were like, this is someone who was on the precipice of really being big and had so much more to offer, and it's sad to see that cut short in a way like this. And I'm glad he's
still in jail?
Yes. Yep. He did not get away with it.
And he's eligible to get out soonish, I guess, right?
25 years to life. So he's been in since 2013, but the crime happened in 2010. So I don't know when that starts.
I see. Okay.
So
it's been 15 years since the crime itself.
Yes.
So he has another 10 at least until parole.
Yeah. So
wow. I mean, that's really rough. Like, it's a really rough story, I think, all the way around.
Absolutely.
Because you're dealing with somebody who was absolutely not given life skills to survive as an adult person, like either emotionally or just practically.
No.
Like, obviously he didn't know how to take care of himself in a practical way. And he certainly wouldn't have been given the skills to emotionally take care of himself, like with his father being who he was in the way that he grew up. That's none of that's an excuse. It's just it's not something fair to observe.
I mean, in some ways, like, well, what he did is there is no excuse for it. You're absolutely right.
No, absolutely.
There's no excuse for what he did. But I think that it was brought up so many times in all the things that I read about his past because, I mean, it's criminal neglect. I mean, and his father.
Yeah. And it's emotional abuse.
Absolutely.
To be told, it's emotional abuse to be told that you cannot speak to your mother or else there will be like extreme consequences. You'll be cut off or disowned or whatever. And then it's also sexual abuse for your dad to be buying you escorts whenever you're a teenager or whatever.
That's
in my
nuts.
opinion, you know, like, so, yeah, I mean, none of it is an excuse, but it's just kind of context to like what happens whenever you don't parent
Absolutely
your child.
That's
you
exactly
you don't
right.
give them the skills that they need to survive in the world on like a practical or an emotional, relational level at all.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just devastating. And you can see how somebody, you know, at that low point is trying to connect, just have a human connection with somebody, you know, and you know, it's devastating. And I don't think he knew how to deal with it. And clearly, I mean,
well, and I feel, when, you know, for her, like, truly, truly devastating. What an awful way to go. And these stories are always terrible because it's just like people who you think care about you, people who you think you can trust.
Yeah.
You know,
but I think that too is like, it's like the more you kind of peel the onion back, the more you realize like her friends are like, yeah, no, did not want to be his sugar mama. And she's really starting to see like the shine's coming off.
Right.
And it's that point where he's like, I'm not going to be able to salvage this. It's like, well, just walk away.
Well, and also as somebody that has experienced the crash out of like when you have somebody that has a lot of expectations and is a high achiever and then hits a roadblock like that and has a crash out, starts dating someone 10 years younger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
you just lost your dog traumatically.
Yeah. You do eventually start to like be like, wait, what am I doing? Like you will get back on the horse. And it sounded like she was just like, okay, like this, enough is enough. Like I'm done with this crash out. And
I'm ready to get my life back together. Yeah.
So devastating.
God, that's so sad. That's so sad.
What are you guys watching this week?
So because of packing and everything and moving, I really couldn't. I started Severance season 2, but you have to pay attention. And I was like moving around, doing stuff.
Yeah.
I really couldn't like sit and devote the brain time to it.
How many episodes did you get into it?
I think 3.
Oh, okay. So you haven't,
don't spoil her.
Episode 4 is pretty major.
Okay. Yeah, no. So I'm going to get back into it now that I'm a little bit more like settled. But I have been on, and this is a comfort show of mine, and I feel conflicted about it because I have been watching nonstop Law and Order SVU. When I tell you, I am burning through episodes, baby, like just getting through it. And I have such a weird relationship with this show because I love it, but it is pure propaganda.
Oh yeah.
Like this
100%.
You are like, we all love everybody's favorite, you know, like cop daddy Stabler. You know, we all love Elliot Stabler, but he is just violating people's rights left and right, you know, and we were all just raised on this steady diet of like, cop good, bad guy bad. It's okay no matter what they do in the interrogation room to get answers. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, this is fucked up. And also, it really did highlight for me, like this show being on like network television.
Yeah.
It is so like that John Mulaney bit during his stand-up where you're just like, the things they say and do on this show, I guess because they don't use curse words, they can just say the most like absolutely graphic shit.
Yep. It is wacky how
it's all
like,
about sex crimes. So it's like the worst shit you've ever heard in your life.
And you're like, how is this allowed to be on at like 9 p.m.? Like,
Right,
Jesus.
exactly.
This is a
And why was I
real
watching
time.
it in a hotel room with my grandma
Yeah.
when I was like 8 years old, you know? But yes, I am enjoying it with my eyes wide open to how completely fucking, gaslit we all were.
Oh man, truly.
oh, well, I'm chomping at the bit. Severance finale was the past Thursday. What an incredible piece of work.
You loved it.
Really don't.
You loved the season.
I loved it. It was actually, it's better than the first season, and I loved the first season. I think this puts it, including the finale, really puts it up into that prestige television.
I've heard nothing but great things. But great things. I really can't wait to devote some time to it.
It was absolutely magic. What a great story. It is officially renewed for season 3.
Oh, good.
But I could very well see how you could leave it here if you wanted to. But what just amazing. Can't say enough good things about it. Please go check it out. And it's just kind of cool that like Eric got to work with the guy that created it. Like he was,
That's cool.
It's neat that like he was writing it while him and Eric were working together.
That's fucking
so cool.
crazy. I did not know
So
that.
cool.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Yeah, like he was writing Severance while they were working together.
Whoa.
And he has a very, very clear story for how it goes, which is kind of cool to know. Like it's that thought out.
Yeah.
That's
gosh,
cool.
that's how you know it's going to stay good.
Yeah.
Because usually when shows like this kind of peter out, it's because they had a strong idea for like one season or two,
Yeah.
and then they're just kind of like, and like wing it
Yeah.
for the rest of the time.
They know how it's going to end.
Oh,
for sure.
wow.
So-
That's really cool.
Which
So
is
does he
exciting.
still
Okay.
talk to this guy?
I think maybe online
Oh, that's
or like
cool.
on social or whatever.
How
But
fun.
yeah. And then I think that there are some people that are not liking this season of White Lotus. I'm obsessed with it. I fucking love Parker Posey so much.
I love her.
She's one of my favorites. And her like Southern, like North Carolinian, lorazepammed out impression is so funny to me. It makes me
I
laugh.
have to say,
and
one of
Walton
my
Goggins
favorite-
is so hot.
One of my
disagree.
favorite stock characters is like rich white lady on painkillers.
Yes.
Is
Yes.
like one of my favorite just like random character types. The
She
best.
says
So
the
funny.
best lines. It's just like, I feel like I just had a grandma seizure.
She is bonkers.
She's bonkers.
Walter Goggins is a wild looking character. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah,
He is
and
wild looking.
He has a scene in the last episode with Sam Rockwell that is
Hot. Sam Rockwell's.
Sam Rockwell
hot.
is hot.
well, dude. You just look up that monologue. It is. You do not know what is coming next. You will not be able to predict it. It is something that I think a lot of men should watch. I'll leave it at that.
Oh,
I
Jesus,
thought
okay.
it was
I'm stoked.
brilliant.
I've got some good TV in my
In the queue.
whenever
We've
I'm
got
ready
so
to
much
yeah.
coming up. We've got a new
Yeah.
season of Black Mirror.
I'm
We've
so
got Gilded
excited.
Age.
Yes.
We've
Are
got
we okay with Black Mirror right
Yes.
now? I feel like
honey, we're living
life
it.
Yeah.
is enough. Like I love
Black
can't.
Mirror.
I don't think I can do it like with our current reality happening.
Yeah.
It's just like watching news, Keegan. Come on.
Yeah,
Ugh,
exactly.
I don't even want to do that. I only do that because I have to.
I've been watching Say Yes to the Dress. So that's
Oh
been
my God.
my fun brain meld. It's so weird because it's TikTok's fault because they keep showing these like partial clips and it's so fucking
Yeah.
annoying. They don't show the reveal. So I was like, fuck it. I turned it on. I've been watching it for the past
I
2
don't
days.
think I can watch. I don't
So
think I can watch
stupid.
that show these days. But the extreme amount of wealth that you see on that show, where it's just like this was pre 2008 financial
Totally.
crash, where
Oh.
it's like we're gonna spend $15,000
Yes.
on a wedding dress, and you're like, this
Yeah.
is this is stupid.
Yeah.
I spent $1,200 on my wedding dress, and it was too much money.
And people are like, oh, you only have $2,000. You're a poor.
Yeah, you can't shop at Kleinfeld.
Yeah, we only have like 4 dresses in your price range, and they're torn. So
And they're the ugliest thing you've ever seen in the world. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, I love that. Well, hey, if you guys have something that we should watch, if you have a terrible date story, if you just want to reach out and say hello, go to our one-stop shop of a website. It's myworstdatepodcast.com, and we love you so much.
Cheers.